Hey everybody, hope everyone's having an awesome day. Today we have Lorna Willis with us. I was talking to two of our mentors, Al Stasic and Andre LaFontaine last week, and they were on me telling me that I need to start sharing my story because of how EXP has changed my life in the last 12 months. In talking to you a week ago, 2 weeks ago, I was blown away with how crazy your performance has taken off. I mean, obviously I've watched you closely and how your career has changed since you've come to EXP. Mm-hmm. But first of all, I actually lied. In this whole description and everything, it says that you doubled your business, and that's not true, right?
No.
Because you tripled it.
I tripled it 3.5 times, actually. I wasn't going to correct you on social media because, didn't want to make you look bad there, Pat.
3.5 times your business in your first calendar year.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is pretty awesome. It's, at the end of the year, you're starting to do your business plan for next year. And a year ago, I didn't believe it could happen, but it did. And in a challenging year. So I'm really happy with it.
And yeah, exactly. And what a crazy year it's been. And to have done that type of escalation in a year that, all of this other stuff has been going on and made it more difficult. I always say you either have to, you adapt or die to every market, and you're definitely somebody who was fit to adapt. So first of all, to give a little background on you and kind of how we met and everything. From our first conversation, I knew you were somebody that hustled, and I knew that this type of model was something that would work for you because I had a listing in your area, as you know, and for everybody watching out there, Lorna had contacted me. And most agents aren't even excited to do an open house on their own listing. And Lorna was calling me from a different brokerage, asking me to do an open house on my listing. And I'm like, okay, if you're going to work hard, almost as hard as me or harder to try to sell one of my properties, and it's not even your property, whatever, you're obviously somebody that works hard and wants to grow your business. And I think that is, listen, for EXP is not for everybody. And for the people that aren't interested in change and don't really want to, grow their business, it may not be the best fit for them, right? And somebody who's not producing a lot, doing a few deals a year and wanting to stay there, that's, it's probably not the best fit for them. But for somebody like you, who obviously was driven to triple your business, it definitely made sense. So, when we've had you in, I had to have you in after I saw your drive. And when we had you in, you saw the vision from day one, pretty much, which I don't think a lot of people do. A lot of people, we have, 3 or 4 or 5 conversations over months and months and months until it clicks. And for you, it seemed like you got it. So that's just a quick props to you. But let's talk about what your initial thoughts were on EXP before you had sat down with us, like the good, the bad, the ugly. What were your initial thoughts before you knew anything about EXP?
Yeah, well, the first experience I had with EXP was it made big news when Pierre changed from being an independent broker to joining EXP. So I was starting to pay attention. I was a pretty new agent at that time, so I've been licensed for 18 months now, and I had joined one of the larger brokerages. Primarily because I was familiar with them. I had bought houses through them before. So it was in the back of my mind, what's this EXP? Then you got a listing down the road from my house. And so I was paying attention and watching that, seeing how my neighbors were selling. And then you and Pierre invited me in. And one of the things I've learned in my career is always take that call, right? You may not make the change, but you owe it to yourself to take the call. And so I came and met with you, and you laid out the EXP model and the multiple ways to create revenue. And I walked away and I thought, it's too good to be true. It sounded like a pyramid scheme. I'm like, well, hold on. I'm making money if I bring other people in. I don't understand that. And so I walked away from our conversation. I was sent a video to watch that explained it in more detail. Got a copy of the contract that I eventually signed, read that. And I'm a person who I think on paper. So I actually sat down with a big pad of paper and wrote out all my thoughts on it and actually did the math and said, okay, here's my current deal and here's what it would be with EXP, and did the math, didn't believe it, went back and checked myself again. And at the end of it, I thought there's no way I can turn down this opportunity. And, I suffer from the fear of missing out. So I'm really glad that I made the decision and came aboard.
Absolutely. And I think, like, I wrote them down because you said two amazing points right there. You said, one, always take the call.
Yeah.
I think that is so important because, like I said at the beginning, like, I don't think we expect when we're making these calls to people, I don't think we expect them to jump ship, and leaving your brokerage is a big deal, right? It's like getting a divorce. So I don't think we expect people to jump ship right away, but take the call and just see the opportunity. Like, if you are able to sit down and be able to admit that maybe there is a better way for us to all reach our goals and have an open mind when you're looking at this model, I think then it becomes the second step, which is such a crucial thing that you said, is do the math. Because I think a lot of people think, oh, well, I'm paying such and such a split at my brokerage where I'm at now. And it sounds great, but when you do the math as far as how much you're paying at the end of the day, it may not be as good a deal as you think you have too, right? So let's talk about the brokerage that you were at before. We don't need to name any names, but was there any pain points that you had when you were there that maybe have been solved since you came over here?
Yeah. So as I mentioned, I mean, I was pretty recent to real estate. It's my second career, and I was struggling because in the past I had always worked on teams and I always worked in collaborative environments. And when you get your real estate license, it's like, here's your license, go do.
Yeah.
And that can be scary. And I'm not a stupid person. I've got some experience in the world, but just trying to navigate your way through it. And, the level of training where I was not what I had expected it to be. And then, conversely with EXP, we've got so many opportunities to learn. I mean, there's EXP World, so there's training that's happening every day, every week. Incredible training. Anything that you want to learn. You want to learn how to manage your CRM, you're going to find it there every week. The opportunity, because we're so well networked with icon agents across the world, to mastermind. And, at least once a week, I get invited to a session. We had a great session last week where Brent Gove sponsored a Tony Robbins session for everybody to attend.
Yep.
That's something you would pay hundreds of dollars for that. And that was just given to us. So the ability to access training and have it be quality training was really important to me. And then, what I hear other realtors that with brokerages everywhere complain about, and especially during COVID when we were, not able to go to offices, is the desk fees, the tech fees, like the fees that just mount up over and over and over again. Plus, splits, especially if you're a new agent, you're probably not given a great split to start out with. So all of that changed with EXP. And, one of the things that I was immediately impressed with was the tech stack that we're given. So KV Core website, like the ability to capture everyone that goes to your website and connect with them right away. And then when you sign a deal, we use SkySlope. So the actual transaction coordination is so smooth. So it, a lot of the things that were a challenge for me before just went away when I joined.
Exactly. Yeah. So for me, I think for every type of agent, there's definitely something different that attracts them to the brokerage. And there's definitely, depending on where you are in your career, things that you're looking for and things that you need. I think for me, one of the things you touched on that was my favorite thing, and that's been one of the most influential things in my business, was kind of like the camaraderie and team environment. Everybody here, it's an agent-owned company. So everybody wants to see everybody win. And like, I don't know how many times you and I have called each other to bounce ideas off each other throughout the year. And it's not just us in our local market. Like you said, you can call guys like Brent Gove or Al Stasik, people who have done 500 plus ends a year that are just a resource to you to answer your questions. It's like once a day, I think they're doing now on our huge Facebook group that we have, a Facebook Live, where you can just drop in your questions as far as what you're struggling with, even specifically as just that day. So is there something that you think that was super, like, was there one kind of secret sauce or one particular thing maybe that was the most influential in changing your business, in tripling it, triple plus another half this year?
I think the most influential thing for me this year, Pat, was, I had already mentioned that I sat down. November is when I do my business plan.
Right.
And I sat down and I did a business plan that really broke down, this is my big goal number, but it broke it down into these are the transactions, and then these are the number of conversations I need to have to make that goal, and then tracking it. And again, having access to the technology that makes our lives so easy allowed me to stay on top of my business. I knew where I was all the time. I can grab my phone and look at every pending deal that I have. So just, having that goal and then just saying to myself, I'm not going to stop till I get there. I'm actually short $635 for my goal for this year. So I have to sell a vacant lot before the end of the month. Yeah.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen. And, when we go back to initial thoughts too, one of my fears was, when you're with a brokerage, it's your brand. And when I talk to a lot of agents that have been in the business longer, they believe that their brand is them. So whatever their brokerage is, they feel that they're really tied with that. But what I've learned is you're your brand, right? 100%. When people say, who's your agent, they don't say XYZ brokerage. They say, Pat Nadeau is my agent. And I think people underestimate that, and it takes some effort to change your brand, right? You've got to change over all your social media and things like that. But, if someone were to come, it's very easy to sit down with them and say, here's your 10 points that you have to take care of. And you've made the switch. And we've seen it so many times in this past year, the number of very experienced agents who have come over to EXP, and they don't even miss a beat. They've got their signs up the very next day.
Yeah, they make it easy. They definitely make it easy with all the marketing tools and everything that they provide for free to change everything over. And with the amount of support, not only that EXP offers, but now these other agent owners that want you to succeed, like the support is through the roof. So when you do that transition, it actually, we took 12 agents over with our entire team, our entire brokerage switched over, and it went pretty flawless for us too. So, I heard a quote I wanted to share that I heard from Brent Gove yesterday. One of the things that EXP offers, it's an opportunity to have other streams of income with the rev share of bringing on other agents, with the stocks that we're now offered, which I don't know if you've checked your stocks this year, but because your business has taken off, I bet you have a lot saved up from that. I didn't even look at it. And
I checked yesterday and I'm pretty happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a new car. That's a new whatever. So like when some people ask you what your split is at EXP, and I'm like on 120% split. Like EXP pays me to work here because of the stocks and the rev share and everything else that's offered. So with any model before, even if you just break it down to what does it offer you, with any model before, the only way you can make money is by selling homes. And if I sold 5-10 homes last month and I show up today for the month of December, I got to sell another 5 or 10, because those 5 or 10 are never paying me again. Right.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So Brent Gove said, if you stay at the brokerage that you're at right now, I will find you in 5 or 10 years at your desk or in between appointments, going from buyer to seller, running around like a crazy person. Whereas opposed to when you're coming to EXP, there's other ways for you to make money. It's not just running in like a crazy person trying to buy and sell properties. And then I heard another quote from Al Stasic yesterday. He said, you got to think about your brokerage as your vehicle. So would you rather take a bicycle? Listen, a bicycle will get you from point A to point B. But wouldn't you rather take a Ferrari? It's what is that brokerage offering you to help your success? Is it getting you there quicker so that you can have, because the way I look at EXP, the way you talked about it with Sky Slope and all these other things, when you forget about even the other ways to make money, it's easier to run your business and focus on the things you want to focus on. It gives you more time to either spend time with your kids. If you're Pierre Nadeau, it gives you more time to go golfing. Or like people like you and I who are still early in the business, it gives us more time to double, triple, quadruple our business.
right.
So I think, so if you had one tip or kind of advice for anybody that may have some pain points in their business right now, or just wants to know more information about EXP, what would you tell them?
I would say the way I started, take the call.
Absolutely.
And if you're not getting a call, make the call. Contact one of us, and we can start you down the road so that you can learn about the model, learn about the opportunity. If it's not for you, that's fine. But the people that I see coming into EXP that are going to succeed, they're driven, like you say, and they're committed to outstanding customer experience. That's where they want to spend their time. And one of the things too that was really powerful for me, Pat, is I am driven, I am ambitious, and I am the person that, in the traditional model would want to own my own brokerage at some point in time. You can build your own team, but you don't have to have all of the burden of carrying a brokerage, right? You're not managing the trust accounts. You're not the HR manager. You're not doing all of that stuff. So someone, even if they're starting out new, but they see a 5 and a 10-year vision for themselves, this is the place where you can realize that.
100%. So I got Lorna's number scrolling at the bottom here. If you are interested in EXP or you have any kind of questions, what's that? You feel free to reach out to her. And I mean, I would love to be able to help other people the way that I've seen you take off this year. And I know my life, both of our lives have changed for the better in the last 12 months. It's absolutely insane. And we'd love to share this opportunity with you. So I guess we'll leave on saying, as we say around here we grow.
Here we grow. Thanks, Pat.
All right, everybody, have a good day. Bye now.